Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to CW Live. My name is Chris Webb, Head of Communications at the CW. I'm delighted this afternoon to be joined by some great guest speakers. We've got the Vice President and Chair of the Postal Executive, Jane Loftus. We have our General Secretary, Dave Ward, and we have Deputy General Secretary, Postal, Terry Pullinger. You are all here, though, for one thing, and that's to find out the result of the second National Industrial Action Ballot across Royal Mail Group. Before we let you have that result, we want to let you know if you're still back in the union. So if you are, simply put CW and Proud in the comments, and we'll get as many of those up on screen as we possibly can. The format of the meeting, whilst we let the audience build for a second here, is that we're going to get the result from Jane shortly, and then we're going to get comment from Dave and comment from Terry. And then basically we're going to send you all off to do the job of work of solidifying our support ahead of the dispute on pay, which commences next Friday, and with strikes and picket lines across every office in the UK. So I can see on my screen now that there's up 7,000 of you online, which is absolutely incredible for this time of day. I know many of you will still be at work. So thank you for coming on. Please keep tagging your colleagues. Please keep making sure you're sharing the link. Let's get the whole union online and make this one of the biggest sessions in the CW history. So that's enough from me, because I know you're waiting for the result. Without any further ado, I want to hand over to the Vice President of the CW and Chair of the Postal Executive, Jane Loftus. Over to you, Jane, for the ballot result.
Okay, thanks, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to read out the ballot results as written. Numbers of individuals who were entitled to vote in the ballot is 115,004. Number of votes cast in the ballot, 83,057. Votes cast in the ballot as a percentage of individuals who were entitled to vote, 72.2%. Question: are you prepared to take part in strike action? Right, the result of the number of spoilts or otherwise invalid voting papers returned was 43, and this is the result of the voting. Those voting no, 1,113, that's 1.3%. Those voting yes, 81,901. That's 98.7%. That is the result. It's a resounding yes, and it's past the threshold of the anti-trade union law. So that's the results as they stand. So thanks everyone who's been involved. It's been a huge turnaround, and it's absolutely an amazing vote on change. I look forward to seeing you all next week on the pay picket lines. And for everyone in work, fantastic. Let's unite together. Let's make sure we stand shoulder to shoulder. We didn't do all that hard work during the pandemic to be left aside afterwards and to be paying the price of any crisis that is not of our making. So thank you, everyone who returned the votes. I'll now hand back over to Chris to bring in Dave Ward and Terry Pullinger. But well done, everyone. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jane. Brilliant. And I can see from the comments there that the amount of pride in the CW. So we're going to hand over to Dave and Terry now. But just before we do, I think it's worth reflecting on what Jane said there. This union had 5 working days to mobilise 115,000 postal workers across 1,500 workplaces. A quite stunning result. We are also seeing attacks on the company picking up on offices right across the country. So if you're ready for this result, if you're ready for next week as well, simply put whatever it takes in the comments right now. So whatever it takes to show you'll back your union come what may and send a clear message to the employer. Whilst you do that, I'm going to hand over to our General Secretary, Dave Ward.
Yeah, look, first of all, again, let's thank all of our members, all of our reps, all of our branches who have delivered that result. The work that you've put in very difficult circumstances is really appreciated. It's a staggering result. 98.7% people voting yes for strike action, I think will be a record-breaking result on that level of turnout. I mean, you have to remember as well that these are ballots that involve, 115,000 people. They're a lot bigger ballots than any other union ballots on at the moment. So, truly staggering result. So many thanks really for you showing your support for the union. In terms of what it does now, I think it will focus the company. It will give us the best platform possible to resolve this dispute and get a settlement. And, the company have been playing games now for too long. And the negotiations that have taken place to date have not been serious on behalf of the company. It's all been about them telling us what they believe the change needs to be. And the message that you've delivered is that the change needs to be totally in line with what we agreed only about 18 months ago. Myself, Terry, the chairman of the company and the CEO of the company negotiated that deal. And we've got to get them back in the room to make sure now that we get back to that agreement. As we've said before, we're not against change. We won't face away from change, but we're not agreeing a levelling down agenda. We're not agreeing that Royal Mail becomes just another gig economy employer. So, you've given us the platform now. Final message from me would be that, when it comes to strike action, we have to make sure that we're prepared for that action. We'll do everything possible to see if we can find a solution, if we can get progress. If Royal Mail on the pay dispute, now on the change dispute, they've got to change their position. If the ball's in their court, it's up to them. But if we don't get that, we will take the strike action. We have to do that. And I know that you'll support that as well. So thanks very much to everybody. Cheers.
Thank you, Dave. That's brilliant. Over to our Deputy General Secretary, Terry Pullinger.
Yeah, thank Chris. And just to repeat, basically what everyone else said. I mean, I'm equally as stunned really by the ballot result. We knew it was very difficult going straight into a second ballot. It's through the period of annual leave. So to get that sort of return and that sort of result is just incredible. And I want to pay tribute to our amazingly brave people, because it just shows you the level of anger that they've got, that they're all going through a credit crisis at the moment. Everybody is. Everyone knows every pound's a prisoner. And this union don't pay people to go and strike. And these people are that angry that they're prepared to back their trade union and take strike action. Now, that should speak volumes. And the reason we do these things is to, show the profiles, show the level of support so that a reasonable employer would react. But unfortunately, we're not seeing that at the moment. All we're seeing is an employer that's doing its best to try and discredit the union leaders, when this, totally forgetting the fact that this is a private, secret ballot, individuals in their homes that are facing the cost of living crisis have still voted yes to support their union. And that should not be ignored by the company, certainly, but it shouldn't be ignored by the public or the media either. These are two ballots, consecutive ballots, both of them over 97% yes vote. This one even stronger than last time, just 1.3% short of 100% back in the trade union. And this company needs to realise that the people have spoken. Their employees, under their culture banner, do you remember? You're the top, you're the most important people. You know what we need. You make the decisions, etc. They are totally ignoring the voice of the workers here. They have with the first ballot. They've not moved 1 inch. And if they ignore this ballot as well, then so be it. But they should recognise now, and everyone should, shareholders, everybody, the employees have clearly lost respect, the confidence and trust of their own employer. And any members of the public who may happen to listen to this, you know your postal worker. You speak to your postal worker. These are decent, dedicated people. And to vote like that, with that sort of return, should send a signal to anyone that this business has got a major problem on its hands. It's being grossly mismanaged. It is clearly trying to run down its public service. And all they're trying to do is serve shareholders. And disrespecting, by doing that, the citizens of the United Kingdom, but also this amazing, dedicated workforce. Congratulations, everyone. The pride, the dignity, the self-respect you've shown with this vote just makes us so proud. I think it's one of the proudest days of my life. Thanks very much for your support, and we'll do everything we can to get the right deal for you. And if that means we have to lead that fight, we'll have the fight as well, and we know you'll back us. But we'll get there. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Terry. That's absolutely fantastic, buddy. So just from us, really, to sum up, since the 2016 Tory Anti-Trade Union Act, 6 years, this union has won 6 national ballots. Absolutely phenomenal, and that's due to you and the work you do on the ground. Our minds now swiftly move to next Friday, the first national strike since 2013. We will need picket lines as big and vibrant as possible as we take the employer on the issue of pay. But for now, this is another day that belongs to you, another day that belongs to the little person. You have absolutely smashed it out of the park, and we couldn't be prouder of you. Take it easy, everybody.